Friends, welcome to the session. Today we will understand the political and social concept propounded by Mary Wollstonecraft. Friends, Mary Wollstonecraft has been considered as one of the most staunch advocate of women rights, and her ideas, her beliefs have affected the thoughts all around the world. She used to be the rationalist and egalitarian ideas of late 18th century. Her famous work was A Vindication of the Rights of Women. That was a famous work of Miss Wollstonecraft. A Vindication of the Rights of Women, which was published in the last decade of 18th century, that is 1792, and which this work Mary attacked the subjugation of women and to display its roots in the social construction of gender. It is very important for you to understand that Mary's idea of Mary's idea of gender construction or the women rights was somewhat different from others. She never actually disgrace men for that purpose. You must have seen that many of the feminist thinkers in our society sometimes disgrace men for what they have done. But Mary considered that as an organic process of the society, and she accepted that over the period of time, the rational men, the more developed men, will understand the importance of women in the society. That is why she always advocates for the rationality of a person. Philosophical anthropology and religion has a very big role to play in the society, according to Mary Wollstonecraft. Okay, so she was a very famous writer, and her writings have affected people all around the world. Like the early feminists had made similar pleas for improved education for women. You know that the feminist thinkers always advocate about the women education. Okay, but Wollstonecraft's work was unique in suggesting that betterment of women's status be affected through such political change as the radical reform of national education system. She upheld that not only education cannot change the status of women in the society. There is the political power which can actually grant empowerment to women. Okay, now I have also quoted a very famous quote of Wollstonecraft, which will be very helpful for you to understand the views of Mary. The more equality there is established among men, the more virtue and happiness will reign in society. And here Mary not only inferring man as a gender sense, but she is inferring here the powerful section of the society. It means that whenever the powerful section of the society or powerful persons in any group understand their responsibility to uphold the quality of that group, then only the happiness, the equality, more quality can be bring in that particular section or the group or the society. So it is very important for you to understand that Mary was not only critical to the men. She was not only, we can say, like other feminist thinkers, she was only doing that, give this to women, grant this to women, give this reservation, give this, we can say, some help to women to uphold themselves. No, she was of the opinion a strong man, very important, I'm underlining this, and a strong man can only respect women and can grant them equality within the society. A man who is not strong within himself, who is not strong of the character, who is not strong of the mind, cannot uphold women. Because of the patriarchal society in the Europe and other parts of the world during the 16th, 17th, and 18th century, the men were in the commanding position. So Mary propounded that it is your responsibility, because you are in command, then this is your responsibility that you should be more equal within yourself. Because to be get equal, if you want the member of any group to become equal, it means that some has to gain something and some has to lose something, then they will become equal. And to perform such mindful activity, it needs patience, it needs intellectualness, it needs intelligence. And if a group is in possession of this quality, it means that group is itself a quality group. And for a society to be a qualitative society, it is very important that the member in command of this society should understand their importance. So this is how creatively Mary tried to establish the woman empowerment. Relations between men and women are corrupted by artificial gender distinction. Previously in my lectures also, I have make you understand the difference between the sex and the gender. Okay, sex is a biological identity. Sex is a biological identity that you are male and you are female, while gender, it's a social identity. That because some responsibilities in our society are bestowed, are designated to men, and some are designated to women. Someone who performs these activities belongs to women class, and someone who performs such activities which are defined for men belongs to men class. And this discrimination, this distinction of work, and this is also artificial. No such distinction in work has been defined by the Almighty God or the nature itself. It is a distinction, it is an artificial distinction provided by the men and for them. Okay, so this artificial gender distinction and artificial distinction of rank is the problem of our society, and then that rank is based on wealth and power. So for a society to be more virtuous, it is very important that it should be mindful, intellectual, and it should have quality within itself. Okay, so guys, this is very important for you to understand. For Wollstonecraft, human beings were created to perfect their nature, because humans considered themselves as the most intelligent being on the earth. That is why it was their responsibility to make world a better place. And these ideas of Wollstonecraft were somehow incongruent with Rousseau. This is also important for you to understand, that the ideas of Mary and ideas of Rousseau were very much in congruence. The function of society is further improvement of humankind. A society should be fabricated, it should be built in such a way that everybody should get a chance to develop himself or herself. Now comes the moral philosophy thing. The purpose of human life, as I already told you, that according to Mary Wollstonecraft, the purpose of human life is to protection of human faculties in imitation of God. When you are imitating God, look, no one has seen God. Everyone has imitated God according to their will, according to their leisure. So that God should be built. Ultimately, the meaning of God is consisting the meaning of religion. So religion should be built in such a way so that it may lead society to the welfare. In this life, imitation of God consists in virtue, that is acting autonomously from moral principle derived by reason from the attributes of God. Everything should be reasoned, everything should be rational in nature. Okay, so these are very important. Principle of justice has also been defined by Mary Wollstonecraft. God's benevolence. Here God is someone who is possessing more power than a normal man. So anyone in the society who is also enjoying more power than other person, this is his or her responsibility to manifest those qualities of men in nature in our society. Okay, so very important, these are points. Perfectibility of man and the moral role of government. Now the political ideas. What are the political ideas of Mary Wollstonecraft? If power, prestige, and wealth were taken as the standards of achievement, okay, so this is something we can say. Some ideas of Mary Wollstonecraft are also in congruence with the ancient thinkers also. That how Mary Wollstonecraft actually make it available to the to in we can say how the governance, how that reflection of a well developed society also reflects in the government because of the moral philosophy Mary provided, because of the perfectibility of man, like the ideas of Confucius, detailed lecture I will take in other session, and like the idea of Aurobindo in Indian context, if you take, like the ideas of Aurobindo and the ideas of Vivekananda, we can say, and the ideas of Deen Dayal Upadhyay. The Indian, if we say in Indian context, the ideas of Mary Wollstonecraft can be compared, then these are the thinkers to which with we can compare the ideas of Mary. They think all these thinkers have also establish the superiority of soul. A better humankind is a necessary equipment for a better society, and in turn is a that particular society is in turn is an equipment for a better government, and ultimately the better government with a better society with better human being as the member of society can achieve the higher goal, the holistic development of the country. So this was the lecture on Mary Wollstonecraft. Friends, it is very important for you to understand these ideas because in the contemporary politics, these ideas have too much of relevancy and they are going to remain relevant for a very long periods. So that was all.